defining what you want to do. That may be all you go home today with, is defining what it is. You know what, $500 a month is for me. Or maybe senior director, I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But defining what that is and knowing that that's where I plug into the wall. That's where the energy comes from. I can be motivated by somebody on stage just long enough to get to the parking lot. And as soon as I get in traffic again and all of that, that motivation fades. Your purpose won't fade. So make sure you know what that is. Not just a money number, but maybe something a little bit deeper. Now, develop your story. You've already got an incredible story. You can go to Throckmorton right now and you're going to be able to tell them all about these products, and your story is compelling. So you want to build a compelling story about these products and what they've done. Jessica, same way. Pam, everyone that uses products. That is the interface between you and building this business. If you can't tell your story in 30 seconds in a compelling way, not in a way, yes, we talk about our results, but when I tell my story, the reason behind that is I want you on products with me. So it's not just about talking about me. I want to tell it in a way that fits for you. That requires listening more than talking. I say enough for you, and it's built in when you get a weight loss story or something like that, because somebody's going to say, man, what's happened? Well, you know, I'm on ID Nutrition, I'm on some incredible, what's that? Well, that's all I need. So you got to be able to tell your story, and then you have to be able to tell the ID Life story. Not a huge one, but be able to talk about what you're involved in. Personalize, customize. What Jessica said, those are all things that are in your notes. That if I walk out the door and somebody says, what is ID Life? I want to be able to tell that. This is, you are the CEO of your business when you get going. What you say, how you connect, that's going to determine what happens. So develop those two parts of your story, especially when you're brand new. The guy that got me in the first company told me this, and he's lucky he said one word. Because he and I grew up together, he called me and said, hey, listen, I want to tell you about some products I'm using. I remember laying in a little trailer house. Donna and I couldn't build a house yet, so we bought a little trailer house, a little 1970 60-foot trailer. And I'll never forget when she was teaching school and we wanted to have the land, but we couldn't build on it yet. So the sacrifice was you're going to live in a trailer house. Well, Donna didn't even know what a trailer house was. And she grew up humble just like I did. But a trailer house like this was a little bit different. And I'll never forget when they dropped that trailer house off and it's sitting on the 10 acres with no skirting on it. It's 1970 and this is, 95, 96. And I'm looking at it, I just started to feel the embarrassment of what she's going to think when she sees this. And sure enough, I look down the road and here she comes down that little country road, drives in there from school. And I'm working at a bank at the time. I'm standing there and she walks up and she says, I like it. And I said, I'll do better than this. I couldn't even look at it. I said, I'll do better than this, I promise you. But we didn't want to live in town. And so that's where we were. I don't know why I even I know why I told the story. So I'm laying in that trailer house when Keith calls me about the opportunity. He said, listen, guys are taking products, getting great results, just like what we say now. He was talking about the energy product. And he was a college football coach and busy and all that, but I trusted him. He said, there's a business to it, but I can't tell you anything about the business. So when I heard the word business, that's what got me in. It wasn't, his story was just enough. Now he could have said, hey man, there's an opportunity here to earn it, and that would have just poured the gasoline on me. But all I needed was to hear there was a business to it. So your story matters. Doesn't have to be long, but you need to be confident in what you're doing. You don't have to have a weight loss story to tell it. I'll tell these other stories. In fact, that's what I do. I tell yours all the time. And so I tell other stories when I'm connecting with people. So develop your story. Now, the third thing as it gets started, if you're brand new today, if I'm going to go out and start talking to my natural market, we call a natural market people that you know, friends, family, coworkers, people you're around that you have influence with. That's where we start. You don't start running ads, doing a booth, talking to people that you don't know without experience. Most people cannot do that. I know it would have been tough on me. But my buddies I could talk about, even when I didn't have all the information. So you want to learn the core products quickly so you can fit the people you know with results. Remember, this is always about a fit. All I ever tried to do in conversation is I want you on my team somewhere. I'm building a business. I want you as a VIP customer. You're not going to know this, but I want you connected to my team as a VIP, or if there's a business reason, I'm going to put you in as an associate. That's what I'm trying to do, because I understood this. Once I do that enough, every time they get on and click and order online, I get paid. And I used to say this, as it got bigger and got to other states, I want to be able to earn income when I lay down and close my eyes at night. Now, I say that with context. If they're in California, they're 2 hours earlier. So if they click and order and I'm asleep, I just earned income. But the point is, I want you on the team. So when I'm talking to you, I'm trying to fit you to Slim Plus. I'm fitting you to Energy. I just need to find out what your interest level is. So we start with the people that we know. Does that make sense? That's your natural market. And to do that, you don't have to go to 50 trainings to talk about ID nutrition. You just need to know, hey, it's personalized, customized. It tells you how to work out for your body type and tells you how to eat for your body type. That's all I know right now about it, but I've just started and I feel great. So core products are quick, easy bullet points. Not because if you slow down and think I've got to go to all these trainings before I talk to people, your emotion is going to continue to go down. And so I want to keep people in that 85, 90% success range early on. Now, create your top 10, create your list. So I know the products. I've got a story going. I don't have to have a finished story. I've got a story going. In fact, if I were brand new today, I would be telling the stories I heard today. Yeah, the guy that talked today lost 50 pounds in 8 months. Another girl that was there, her sister, she had rash and all that's gone now and feels great. So you can tell other stories. So you're equipped with that, and then you're familiar enough with the products to be able to fit somebody with a sleep strip or an Energy at work. That's how you want to start to equip yourself with getting started. Next thing is, physically, we want to create a list. Okay, this is where you start to dial in, and it goes from being out here or what do I do to actually developing a plan to succeed. Most people have to have a plan to succeed. You can't just tell somebody, hey, go get in the box and, man, swing hard when it comes in there. There's a lot more to breaking down a swing. There's an approach, there's everything. Same way with a pitcher. Don't just get on there and throw hard. Most of them are not going to be successful. I told the group in Louisiana, I said, one of the best examples I can give you is, without a plan, is, I love to elk hunt. I thought you just go out there and you're going to, get an elk. It took me 5 years to get a shot off. But in 5 years, I learned everything about them. What they look like, what they smell like, how everything works, the topography of the land. I developed a plan to be successful. And so when we create a list, you're not just saying talk to people. Let's talk about your list. Who do you know that would be interested, just like you, look, feel, sleep, perform better? Start to help people formulate the list of who they're going to talk to, because listen, we can't talk about all these great things that happen here and not know that you're going to have to talk to people. We're in sales. That's how this works. And then also a top 10 list. I like to tell people this. Look, Jessica, if you broke down at 3 in the morning, who would you call to come pick you up? That's a top 10. That means you have a lot of influence with them. Those people are the ones that usually say, well, if you're doing it, I'm going to do it. I started with those in my first company. Started with 6 of them. 5 of them became 6-figure income plus earners and above. But they were ones that I didn't have to know all the answers. They were my top 10. They said, if you're doing it, man, we're going to do it. Who is that in your life? Who is that in the person's life that you're working with? They have to understand what you're talking about. Your top 10 and the list we're going through. People will not, and we're going to talk about third-party credibility, but you need help in this business. I'm going to tell you this, without help, I would say probably, Pam, 2% of the people have what it takes, the thick skin, the strong purpose, the stars are aligned for them to just walk out and get something going. The other 98% need help. That's how this is designed. You need help. If I went out and went in the backyard and said, we're going to build a dynamic wood fence, I haven't done that before. So if I go to Lowe's and get what I think is going to work, and then I get it laid out and put half of it up and half of it's wrong, got to tear it back down, or I can go with a guy that's done it 50 times and watch him, and I can build a fence the next day. That's how this business works. You wouldn't think so, but there's so many little things that affect you from the chin up, a good sponsor can help you with and take you through it. Because you will be out of the game. Because nobody likes no. Nobody likes getting a question they can't answer or one that makes them uncomfortable. I've got a type A personality. I can handle about anything that you're going to ask me. But I've also had people that, boy, they get one thing and it's going to be tough on them. And so if I'm there with them and their friend asks them about a pyramid or asks them something off the wall, I'm going to answer that in a respectful way, strong way, and you've just built this person up and you've taught them how to build a fence by being there with them. That's how this works. So creating your list, people are your working capital. If you're out of people, you're out of business. Social media game plan. I would bring Jessica up here to handle that. But that is a part of our business. All of us know that everybody's on their phones, everybody's on Facebook, everybody's on Instagram. I'm going to tell you this, you're not going to build it just with that. Because the absence of a relationship and being in front of somebody face to face is missing on this. But it is a great pond to fish out of. It's a technique. There are fundamentals and techniques. Techniques come and go, fundamentals don't. That's like blocking and tackling in football. That's been happening for 100 years. It's not going away. Offenses change. Techniques change. So this is a very good technique. Some are better than others. I'm not at all. I have a hard time putting a picture of myself on anything. And so I would rather, meet you somewhere or meet someone mowing the lawn, talk to them with Hydrate. That's my way of fishing. But this is powerful. Young people love it as well as older. But it is a powerful, and we have a game plan for that. We have videos for people to tell you what to post, when to post, how to post. And again, without knowing how to do it, I would be putting stuff on there that probably wouldn't connect. So just know that that is a way that we do this, but nothing trumps getting in front of somebody face to face, but you may get them from there to go face to face. So social media game plan is one of the things that we teach to get started. Then take action. And I want to talk about third-party credibility. That's like Jessica and Pam. Pam has taught Jessica this business by being at everything with her. How to do events, how to talk to people, how to structure, all of the things it takes. That's what third-party credibility is. So when I recruit a new person and bring them on the team, first thing we're going to do is sit down with that Get Started training. I'm going to talk to you about your purpose. I want to find out what that is, because if I can't get in a coaching position, I can't help you. And so I want to get, not everybody, again, if you're not teachable, or if I'm someone you don't trust. I may have a personality that I'm stronger up here today than I would be if I'm sitting and talking to you. I'm going to talk at the pace you talk, but up here I'm coaching a little bit, so I get a little bit, somebody might think, boy, he'll scare everybody, I got off. I don't. I'll talk the right speed. But we're going to sit down and talk about what you want to do, because I've got to be in a position to coach and help you. So what is it that you want to accomplish? And we would talk through that. And I've got phrases to help you with that. If success were guaranteed, what would you want to do? Now you open up and people start talking. Well, we'd love to have a second home. We'd love to get my husband retired early. So if we can formulate that purpose and plan, now we'll back it up with the work. But I know I need the energy from you first. I need to find out what you want first. That's where third-party credibility comes in. Then, when we establish that, and you start to open your natural market list up. In other words, I'm going to help you meet the people you know. You've got to be able to tell your story. You've got to be able to create the influence and the excitement. But I'm now going to come in and help you with that. We got to build a relationship. You got to be comfortable with that. That's what Pam, Jessica has done. Jessica would not hesitate to put Pam in front of anyone. If you embarrass somebody in front of the first meeting with them, they'll never use you again. That's why I'm always, careful and tell people I'll never embarrass you or tell you anything that's not true in front of your team. And I want to help you with that. And so we build that and we start to go through your natural market. Then I want to find out what's most comfortable for you. Do you want to do a block party? You may be a person that's used to hosting all the, in your name, I'm sorry?
Elion.
Elion. You may be somebody that's used to hosting all the time. So a block party is easy for you. You can have all, that's my favorite way because we get a chance to meet the most people at one time and tell the story of ID Life. So it may be that you don't want to do that. It may be that, hey, I'm going to set some appointments this week and can we do some lunch appointments? Same thing, we're just meeting them one at a time. But I'm with you to help tell the story and get people on your team. If you want to build, here's what you'll look like when it's all said and done. Let's say you do this for 2 or 3 years and you're consistent, you get better, you build. Here's what your organization will look like. I always start with a finished product. I want to know what it is I'm working for. If I'm looking at a player, I know what I want him to look like. If I know what I want him to look like, I can do the things to help him get there. Your footwork, all the things that we can change it. If I have no idea, how are we going to develop a plan? So at the end of this, here's what it looks like. You'll have a lot of people on your team using a little bit of products. They don't come to events, they don't listen to Zooms, but they love their energy. They love their sleep strips and their ID nutrition. They're going to take that from now on. A lot of them mixed in with a few key business builders. That's what your organization will look like. That's what ID Life looks like. ID Life has thousands of people that just use products. They don't come to events, they don't try to build a business, but they are loyal and they love the products. But the company also has leaders, business builders. If the company didn't have that, it would not grow. Who would do this today? Who would teach and train? The company doesn't do that, we do that. Your organization is no different. So as you grow and you teach others to do the same thing, you'll have those few key business builders that end up. Does that make sense? I want to give you a big picture of how dynamic this is going to be. And understand that as a company, we are in the creating stage right now. Company has to have momentum. It has to be created. Your business has to be created, sustained, and advanced. When this starts to advance, it's unbelievable. And it'll happen in 24. Right now, we're stepping into sustainability, which means we've got some good leaders now that are sustaining the growth. Then it takes off after that. That's where we're at right now. So as Pam said, you're in the sweet spot. Third-party credibility, we're finishing up here. Schedule your first block party. I would tell you if that's comfortable for you, I would love, while you're excited, I would love to get in front of the people you know and let's do a quality presentation about this company and about the products and what may be in it for them. There's sometimes that I don't talk about the opportunity. If Jessica tells me, look, I've got people that are only interested in products tonight, then that's what I'm going to talk about. And we'll do everything in the world to help them fit. Other times it is about the opportunity and you fit them together. And you can do that in a very relaxed way. Because the products do what they do, a lot of people choose to build a business and an income. May or may not be for you, but you can do that. So that's how we put those two together. So block party, and then lastly, I'm going to finish with this. Our system is called the arms race, okay? Let me tell you why the arms race is so important. That stands for area, regional, managing, and senior director. Those are all ranks in our company, and it goes way beyond that. But those ranks are tied to a certain amount of volume that has to be produced, a certain amount of income that you will earn when you get to that spot, and then the advancement of how you keep going from there. This is what's been missing in our company. When you can't put someone on the right pathway, in other words, if someone comes to me and says, I want to earn, what does it take for me to earn $50,000 a year? Then I would look to that and probably look and say, and I don't know, we're getting this put together right now, by the way, for the entire company. But let's say that's national director. I can now tell you that is national director. That is this position in our company. It requires $20,000 in volume created every month. Now let's talk about how we're going to create that. Now you've got a number, you've got a pathway, and you've got the work and the steps that it takes to create that. Without that, most people have no chance. That's like going and telling somebody on elk hunt, well, they're out there, they're behind the trees. They have no chance. No chance. And so with the arms race, you have a chance to say, hey, area director, 500 in volume, I just hit it. Regional, 1,000 in volume, we just hit it. How do you hit it? You do a block party at Jessica's house. and there's 5 new people in the room, and they hear the story and say, I'm doing $3.99, like Pam said, that's the best spot. I'm excited. I want to get in. 5 times $3.99, that's $1,500. That's $2,000 in volume right there. Created in one night. People doing what fit them, not me begging or pushing or trying to get volume. It came by telling the story. That's how volume is created. And if you duplicate that, someone else does one next Thursday night with their friends. 5 of them say, I'm doing $3.99. That's another $2,000. You just hit senior director in 2 block parties. That's what's going to start happening here. But you have to be in front of people. You've got to be compelling with your story. People are busy. People are distracted. That's why I'm so solid on leadership and environment for success. There are reasons to be here. There are reasons for you to be here on a Saturday. If you want to get better, if you want to be products and earn some income, we need to be able to do it in a powerful way where people get results. The arms race will put you on the right pathway to do that. So with that, thank you guys for being here. We're going to continue to ramp up all across this country with events and trainings. In fact, here's what happens. Lastly, I'll tell you this. Here's a natural progression for a company. When it finally gets enough leaders, when I say leaders, people that can train what we just trained today. Talk about the Get Started training, what a block party is, how to do it. And there's a lot more to it than that. You start to see a regular meeting and training schedule develop across the country where people can walk in with a new person and they're being trained and they get the information that somebody maybe has learned over 30 years. That's like going in your profession and listening to a doctor that you want to learn how to do shoulders. Here's going to be a guy that's done shoulders for 30 years that's going to talk this way. You think you're going to learn something there?
Absolutely.
Probably so. That's what you're going to start to see is a consistent meeting and training structure. Right now, we don't have that. We don't have enough recruiting, enough people yet doing these things to have enough new people in certain areas. We do in a lot of areas to where people start to get trained and grow as a leader and do it. So thank y'all for being here. I'm excited about where we're going. You heard Mark, just the stuff that's going to be released as we move forward. We got Live It Up coming in North Carolina. You're going to hear us talk more and more about that in October. Here's another thing that's taught and trained. We teach the company how to look around North Carolina within 5 years. Donna is a master at this. She's a marketing master. Now, honestly, about how you start to look 5 hours out of North Carolina and get them to that event. Because big events are where people get a big picture for their life and they do big things a lot of times. So those are happening all across the country. So anything else before we go? Jessica, Pam, great job training. Stories were great. We may be small today, but there is power in this room.
Amen.
There is power in one story of what can happen. Sometimes, I always told myself, and I learned this from a mentor, you are one person away from explosion. You are one person away from everything changing. That's going to happen more and more frequently. So thank you guys. Appreciate the time. Yes.
I'd like to say one thing. Have
Yes.
you been here since before the company went to market?
Yeah, get up here. You
And
were
so-
you were here the day it started.